adventurers, and welcome to Your Daily Dungeon, powered by Your Daily Nerd. And we're proud to present The Curse of Strahd, a fantasy role-playing adventure set in a gothic horror campaign. I'm really excited to get back to things and come back from our long hiatus to kind of reevaluate my sense of purpose in life. What about you, Kyle? You ready?
Absolutely.
Oh, man. So, today we bring you the same adventures, only we do have a new face with us today as we've had swap in some roles. I'd like to introduce everybody to Dylan Graves, who will be playing our resident hobgoblin. Is that correct, Dylan?
Yes, that is.
Dylan, go ahead and give us a brief introduction, and you don't have to give me a backstory, just kind of like what you're playing, what race you are, what your name is.
So like you just said, he is a hobgoblin named Noric Ilbrid, Eldritch Knight.
Excellent. With us we have Zach playing a Dejo.
A Dejo?
One singular Dejo.
The Dejo.
There can be only one.
God, thank God.
We have our lovely producer, Kyle, playing Amnon and / Zarbdock, the warlock, right? A hexblade warlock.
Yeah.
Yarp. Then we've got Mel, our wizard, a human wizard,
Yup.
played by Eric Stanford. And then we've got Watt Cantier by our lovely Adam.
Hello.
I actually don't remember Davros' last name, but we have a Davros played by Swank, right? What's your last name?
Yes, it's Dawn Tracker, but yes.
I thought it was Davros
What a
Swank.
stereotypical name.
You know what's really ironic is that your last name is going to be very topically humorous in this campaign. Yes. So, I believe that we have left off with our adventuring party having just conquered a small little werewolf enclave. You were sent and hired by a nobleman of Daggerford to hunt down what was apparently a small little, I guess we could call it a company of werewolves that have been harassing the village and stealing children, of all things, from the village. And your little sellsword group hired. Far darker mysteries plagued your mind than Who Wants Children. Like, what's for dinner?
Beef.
Beef. So you find yourselves standing over the corpses of 3 dead werewolves and 2 dire wolves that were amongst the pack. You stand along the edge of a lightly wooded area in a clearing that is on the edge of town of Daggerford. It is roughly 5 in the afternoon as you guys have been hunting this pack of werewolves and were able to intercept them before they ran into town late in the evening. The full moon has been hanging high over the city for several days now, and you notice that its cycle hasn't really been moving at all. And with some information from the town guards, you're able to track down this pack and catch them before they were able to get inside town. And now you are relaxed and going in town to receive your payment.
Neat.
It's about time we make some money around here.
You know what they say? Get paid, get laid, Gatorade.
You know, it's not all about the money.
Well,
It
is
really
about
is. It is about. It's about the Gatorade.
you know,
This episode is not
About the Gatorade.
sponsored by Gatorade.
but we could be for the low
Can we?
price.
So you guys find yourselves walking into town and entering into the. Let's see here. The name of the tavern. Let me roll real quick. My favorite part. Interesting. The Cloven Hoof. It's
Sounds about right.
It's a goat. It's a prevalently goat farming. That's like a little city. So the Cloven Hoof is just a reference to what they farm. You find shepherds of a blue collar working class populate this bar, all kind of haggard and tanned and darkened from working outside in the sun all day. And the werewolves have been a particular problem for them as well, as they have been picking sheep off of the herds as well. So you've done a big favor. As you guys are entering into the tavern, there's some cheers and some revelry as you guys come in. And The barkeep, who's a short halfling woman, kind of clambers up onto her stool with her husband, cleaning little doodads and things behind her, the little cups and so on. She says, "Whoa, it's so good to see all of you. Drinks on the house, and your room and board is paid for tonight."
Now that's what I like to hear.
That's what I'm talking about.
DJ,
Good,
cheers.
and I'm just gonna grab a drink from the bar.
Quite wonderful.
She grins and she says, "Please, take a corner booth. We'll have someone come serve you some food in just a minute."
Hell yeah, corner booth.
So they give you a big old corner booth that seats all of you easily. I believe there's 6 of you, correct?
I can't count.
I believe so.
So yeah.
Yes, there are 6 of us.
7 if you
I
count
hope so.
Zardock.
7 if you count Zardock.
We don't.
Wow. He's saying very rude things about you right now.
As you guys are sitting there enjoying your, you notice that some of the children come walking up and are trying to get autographs from a couple of you.
Ooh, I sign all of them. I give them all autographs. I
high or
sign
low,
really big. Dijo Joey. Do what?
High or low, Dijo?
Oh god. Low.
Let's see.
Oh, turns out Dijo's illiterate. He can't write anything.
Well, no, he can't count and he's illiterate. That's
He
how do you
spells his
function?
name backwards.
So it looks like I rolled a 50 exactly. So it looks like maybe half of them actually do go up to Dijo, but the other half just ignore him.
Who do they go up to? Who do they go up to the most?
It should be.
Let's see.
Who do they go up to the most?
Amnon.
Yo.
Several of the children approach you and are asking for autographs and so on and so forth.
Yeah, I'll go. I'll sign it, sure.
Do you sign Amnon or Zardock?
I sign Amnon.
He signs Amdoc.
Gross. So, after about an hour of
No, he signs a different name for each autograph.
No,
he just
no.
alternates back and forth.
Yeah, Zardock is actually left-handed and Amnon's right-handed, so it's...
He's just writing with both hands at the same time.
Yeah, two. He's given 2 autographs at the same time with different names.
So, as you guys are enjoying the evening, about an hour into your revelry of playing darts and drinking and card games, there is a table that looks suspiciously like Gwent.
Off-brand Gwent. We call it Brent.
after the guy who invented it.
Yes.
He's there in town.
Oh my god, Brent! I gotta get his autograph.
Alrighty, so as you're sitting there on the bar enjoying your good evening, you guys all finally return back to your table, and you see that your food's been prepared for you, and you're having a nice big hearty meal. When a storm blows into town and kind of starts shutting people in for the evening, the bar is pretty full. It's pretty full tavern, and the doors are suddenly blown open with a gust of wind, and the howl of the rain kind of gets the whole room to kind of stop and pause and look at this all of a sudden as you see a man come stepping in wearing very almost royal-like robes with a very fine pointed beard, much like Zardock or Amnon, excuse me. His beard kind of fits around his chin in a very nice kind of clean fashion with a pointed tip, and he's got long swept back black hair with very intelligent eyes. Beset a very you could say a Slavic build. He's got a gaunt face with pale skin and blue eyes on black hair. He steps into the tavern
Do any of
and
us-
kind of like, no. As a matter of fact, he's a total stranger to you.
Okay, neat.
So, inside these tavern walls, the food has been hearty and the air is warm and frothy, and there's a fire blazing in the hearth. And the tavern has been alive with tumbling voices of country folk, but suddenly when that door swings open, it's just a totally different frame. He comes bearing a lamp that kind of lights the fog that steps in behind him, swirling around his cloak as his boots clunk on the heavy wooden floor. His form striding through the doorway, his heavy boot footfalls, jingling coins in his pocket, shattering the silence that was brought upon his entry. His brightly colored clothes are draped in loose folds about him, and his hat hangs askew, hiding his eyes in the shadows. Without any hesitation, he approaches your table and stands proudly in a wide stance with folded arms. In an accented voice, he says, "Ah, I've been looking for you. Sent to deliver this message."
I'm like, so not for an autograph, right?
He chuckles and table sets down an envelope with a wax seal on it. The wax seal is purple, and upon the wax you see what looks to be like some sort of bird mysteriously emblazoned into the center, one which you've never seen before, a crest very foreign to your eyes. He leans back and he says, "If you be creatures of honor, you will come to my master's aid at first light. It is not advisable to travel the Svalak woods at night." He pulls his tunic closed and nods his head and leans back, awaiting your reply.
And
What?
I'm gonna read I want to read the letter, see what it says
Okay.
before I reply.
Dijo just kind of he just asks, "Who are you?"
He chuckles and he says, "You may call me Edigal."
Okay.
is that
How you spell that?
Aragal?
Arrriggal.
Okay.
Well, Aragol, is this some type of paying gig that we can?
His eye twinkles with you and he says, "Not only will wealth of experience be flowing into your pockets, there will be plenty of treasure and loot."
I might be able to get down on that.
So you open up the letter, Watt, and it says, "Hail thee of might and valor. I, the burgomaster of Barovia, send you with honor and with despair a message. My adopted daughter, the fair Irina Kolyana, has been these past nights bitten by a vampire. For over 400 years this creature has drained the lifeblood of my people. How my dear Irina languishes and dies from an unholy wound caused by this vile beast. He has become too powerful to conquer. So I say to you, give us up for dead and encircle this band with the symbols of good. Let holy men call upon their power that the devil may be contained within the walls of weeping Barovia. Leave our sorrows to our graves and save the world from this evil fate of ours. There is much wealth entrapped in this community. Return for your reward after we are all departed for a better life." Signed, Kolyan Indirovich, Burgomaster.
So
I say,
He wants us to kill everyone in the town?
Aragorn chuckles and he says, "Just the vampire." He says that Aragorn shakes his head and goes, "My master feels that it may be too late for him to save themselves."
Dijo says, "Well, I'm in it for the good times. I'll go along."
So, I kind of lean over the table to Watt. I'm like, can I see that note real quick?
Sure, I'll give it to him.
Yeah, I kind of take it. I look over.
I'm gonna look at I'm gonna look at Aragol and say, "You go first."
Okay, yeah, I was just gonna look over it and then survey it and like Barovia. Would I know where that is?
You asking me, the DM, or him?
I'm asking you as the DM. Like if I would know anything about
Roll a history check.
it. All right.
Can I as well, Ian?
Absolutely.
All right. Hey, I rolled a nat 20. First roll of the game, boys.
God. Of course, it's Dijo.
Eric,
Yeah.
did you roll a 1, Eric?
I rolled an 8,
Okay.
and I'm supposed to be the smart one.
Nope. Dijo's the smart one now. All hail
Well-
Dijo.
Well, I think
Dijo's pretty smart.
I would think that rogues are pretty intelligent.
They are. But...
So, nothing strikes you as particularly familiar about the name, Mel. You kind of think to yourself that it has some sort of haunting call to it, as if there's some ploy that draws you to the land. You like the sound of Barovia, while DJ, the name sends almost like a dark chill down your spine. Something about it is vaguely familiar to you, as if you've heard perhaps stories as a child, or maybe even warnings, but nothing really comes to mind that really gives you any kind of direct recollection of what it could be.
I'm gonna go and ask him. What kind of place is Barovia? Might I ask?
He grins and leans against the wall, and he says, "A beautiful valley, full of wondrous waterfalls, lakes of lights which you've never seen. Beautiful mansions sweep the land, and a wondrous castle sits upon a beautiful hill, overlooking the village of Barovia. A beautiful land with wonderful gypsies who ride around from place to place, telling great stories, giving great ideas of mirth and happiness. It is a place that I dearly call home. Indeed, I think of Mount Beratok now and look upon its majesty in my memory. I yearn to go back soon."
Dijo just smiles and nods, and he realizes that this guy's probably a little bit biased. So, especially because of the atmosphere that the guy brought in whenever he walked in. So
You're talking about like he's looking at it through rose-colored glasses?
yeah, you know.
Okay. Yeah,
So
I got you.
Dijo realizes that, and he's still kind of like, I'm not sure if this is a great place, but whatever. So
The rest of you
Well,
like the way.
what
I'm
is
sure the
gonna
rest
look
of
up
you
at
like the... Go ahead, sorry.
Okay, cool. So what is going to look up at Aragal and say, "So you need mighty warriors and holy men? I'm both. I'm in. Let's go." In the morning, that is.
He grins and he says, "Oh, I would not expect you to do anything but travel in the morning. It's very dangerous to travel along this Valak road at night." He kind of pats the table. When he lifts his hand up, you see a stack of platinums where his hand once was. And he says, "Drinks for the rest of the evening on me."
Well,
he just shakes
they were
his hand.
already on the house, but sure.
Yes, thank you for. We really appreciate it.
He looks at you and says, "Take the west road from here. It's 5 hours. March down through the Svalak woods. There you will find my master in Barovia." Amid the silent stares of the patronage, the gypsy-like man strides to the bar and orders a drink, fills the glass, and downs it in one big old gulp, and turns and says, "Their drinks are on me for the rest of the evening. Their throats are obviously parched, and these men have worked hard. I've heard of many great deeds that they've done to save this town, and I commend them for their bravery." He slaps the tankard back on the table, and as the babble of tavern voices resumes, although somewhat subdued, you see the letter kind of gently flow in the direction of one of you. Let's go with floats towards what's your name again, Dylan?
Rick.
Rick, you said?
Norik.
Nork. Okay. The letter gently floats towards you as he strides past you back outside, and the wind blows it a little in your direction.
I'm just going to kind of look up and say, involved, of course I'm in.
All right. So you guys finish your evening, and I assume that nothing else of great interest happens in the evening.
Dijo spends the night drinking with him, or trying to. Sort of, would anything interesting come up from that?
Drinking with who?
The Aragal.
Aragal left. He did not stay.
He left. Okay.
Yes. So he would have left.
I would have probably talked to Amnon about the curiousness of this. Like, it seems a bit odd, or it's like I feel like we're still kind of a newly formed adventuring group, so it's like maybe our reputation's starting to get out there, or is this just really weird?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's kind of odd because, I mean, I wouldn't even know if I would necessarily call us an adventuring group so far. I think right now we're mostly just a bunch of hired hands that just happen to travel around together. Maybe that makes us an adventuring group. Maybe that doesn't. I don't know. I agree. It is kind of odd to just all of a sudden be summoned like this. It's peculiar, to say the least.
Well, as long as there's money in it, I mean, because we're broke.
Yeah. Can't believe that we gave all that money to Dijo. He lost all of it in that gambling game.
I told him to fold.
Dijo never folds.
You know what they say, you gotta know when to hold them.
And know when to hold them.
Yep.
No.
Before Amnon goes to bed for the night, he's gonna sit and meditate with his sword sitting in front of him, and talk to Zarbok for a bit.
Did anyone take the letter? If not,
I-
what's gonna?
I have it. If you ask for it, I'll give it to you.
Hey,
I just wondering if someone had it.
Did anybody read the letter out loud?
I don't think so, but you can read it if you want.
I kind of just assumed that it got passed around between everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, that works for me.
Yeah, I read it out loud. Did anybody miss anything? I read the letter. I can read it again.
I think I got the gist of the letter.
Wants us to save his daughter who got bit by a vampire.
Yeah. So yeah, that's
By killing a lot of vampires.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got it. Would there be anything else for us to do tonight, or should we just chill?
Nope. Nothing of interest. So, you guys awake the next morning, and you start your journey, I assume. You kind of gather up your things. You don't have any mounts or anything like that. So you follow the road
That's fine.
west, as he described to you. You travel for the pre-allotted amount of time he told you. I think it was 4 hours. What was it? 5?
Whichever one.
Are we traveling, or is it by foot, or on horse, or wagon, or?
It's by foot.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not rich enough to get horses, remember?
Does anybody want to carry Dijo?
Yeah, it's some 5 hours away.
Not.
I do not.
Sure, I got you, Dijo.
I'll carry you. Let me just tie this rope to your leg.
I got you, Dijo.
All right.
Dragging and carrying are fun different things.
I want to be carried.
Alrighty.
I'll put you on my shoulder, Dijo.
All right. Thanks. What?
So, as you guys are traveling down the road, you notice that the storm that had blown through the previous evening has left the day overcast, and the sun kind of obscured behind these clouds as a chill kind of comes into the air. It's kind of getting closer to the late autumn time, so this isn't too unusual for you. The storm is lightly raining. It's not enough to actually make you wet enough to kind of make you like a little damp, maybe like kind of like you're walking through drizzles. And leaves blow through the air around you, and on occasion you guys can hear the cry of a wolf.
Neat.
As you walk along this road, you come to an old, wearied sign. Upon it, you see what looks to be like a highway sign that splits between the left and the right. One traveling northwest, the other one traveling south. To the south, you see a sign that says Daggerford, the way from which you've come. And to the northwest, you see what looks to be like a sign that says Old Svalak Road.
That looks like the road we're supposed to go down.
Oh. Lots.
As you guys turn and head down the road, you notice that there's small pools of black water, most likely muddy, formed on the road. And you see hoof marks and wagon tracks have muddied and sullied this road to a quagmire. And you see a little up the road, but looks to be like a small, perhaps, I guess you could describe it like a chuck wagon almost. It's one of those wagons with like a carriage-like roof on it, with two horses drawing. And a woman with a yellow headband and a vest and a small sundress that, well, it's not small, it goes down to her feet. She's got tan skin and dark black hair. You see her kind of riding along in this wagon, and she looks at you with a grin. And she says, "Good morning. How are you doing, gentlemen?"
Doing fine.
Just fine. Just fine.
She grins and she says, out for a morning stroll, or are you on some sort of irregular business? I sense a bit of urgency about you."
No, ma'am. Just traveling.
Just on the way to see an old friend.
So you see upon her face a grin stretches, and she reaches out and pulls up a small decanter of something. She reaches forward and she says, "A gift for travelers whose throats may be parched on their journey."
Can I roll an insight check?
Sure.
That's an 8.
She's offering you a drink.
Nothing suspicious about that.
I mean, I roll an 8. I'm not super suspicious about it, but
I don't want to be that guy, but can I also roll an insight check?
Yeah, I am not be suspicious of someone being kind to him.
I rolled a 19. Nat 19.
Oh yeah.
You get a very genuine sense of kindness and familiarity from this woman, as if she's offering you a drink out of kindness and not out of any other ulterior motive.
Okay. Well, thank you kindly, ma'am. We're not used to that kind of hospitality.
She says to you in slightly accented voice, "Not a problem, my boy. I think of myself as a gift giver for those who would wander upon these roads. They are not often friendly, and it is nice to meet a face who would make them so."
May I ask your name, ma'am?
She grins and she says, "Ava."
Okay.
I'm gonna walk forward, take the decanter out of her hand. I don't want to take a smell of it first before I take a drink.
It smells of like a cider made from apples. It smells very, I guess you could say sugary, almost as if it's a cider. It's frothy.
Okay. I'll take a swig.
It tastes very much so like apples with cinnamon, but it's kind of thick, like apple juice would be.
Okay.
When you finish drinking it, it's sweet with a bit of tang to it at the end of it. It's very delicious.
Cool. I'll hand it back to her, nodding my head out of thanks.
She shakes her head and says, No, that is for you all."
Oh, well, thank you. And I'll pass it over to whoever reaches for it first without causing a scene.
Me.
There you go.
All right. So for those of you that take a swig, you get a similar taste. It's absolutely delicious. After a couple exchanges of it, she swats her horses with the rein, and she bids you adieu. I guess it would probably be more likely a Viterzang or Das Vidania.
Hasta luego.
Oh my god. So as she kind of crests over the hill, you disappear into a light mist of the rain. As you guys turn, you see that the woods, which seem now much closer than they were before, hang low with a dark, almost stillness to them as the mists begin to kind of creep around you and the rain begins to kind of slightly as this fog begins to take almost like a stranglehold on the woods around you. You feel a little unsettled, as if standing still is not the right move.
Alright, so just keep walking. Keep going.
Just a little creepy. It's fine. We'll be fine.
It's fine. It's fine.
So you travel along the road for another 10 minutes or so into these actual woods as the path begins to kind of ebb and flow between the trees. These thick evergreen trees begin to grow darker and darker, and you see that the clouds above you no longer seem to mask the sun, but instead almost as if it's nighttime now, even though you know that it's still early morning. The black pools of water stand like dark mirrors now and this muddy roadway. And you see these giant trees looming on both sides of the road, their branches clawing at the mist almost. You travel like this for about...
more creepy, but we're still fine.
So, as you guys are walking along the road, you eventually come to a small sign that looks like it says Barovia on it, pointing just to the west of you. It looks to be about a mile away, is what it says on the sign.
Almost there, guys.
Looks like it's quite the paradise.
I just look at Dijo and just kind of roll my eyes and keep walking.
In the distance, you hear the...
I'm just one more and you're walking.
In the distance, you hear the sounds of voices whispering almost as wolves howl. You hear a deep guttural as you feel the air kind of chill around you as the fog spills out of the forest to swallow up the road behind you. Ahead, jutting from the impenetrable woods on both sides of the road, are high stone buttresses looming over in the gray fog. You see huge iron gates hanging on stonework as dew clings with cold tenacity to the rusted bars. Two headless statues of armed guardians flank the gate, their heads now lying among the weeds at their feet. They greet you only with silence as you approach. These statues stand massive, almost as if they were designed to be depictions of gods or some sort of mighty generals before your time. They each stand roughly 25 feet around a gate whose also appearance is equivalent in height.
Can I roll to see if I would know what these statues are?
If you'd like, sure.
Yeah, I'd like to do the same.
What would that be? A history check, perhaps? Or...
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. I'd like to see what I'm looking at here.
I rolled an 11.
Ian?
Yes.
I would like to do a religion check. You said that they kind of look like they might be gods or something. Is that okay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was more of a... It's fine.
I got a nat 20.
All right. You realize the DM has made a method for these things are actually just human being statues.
All right, good to know. Wasted my nat 20.
I'm rolling like crap.
Yep, that was your one for the campaign. Other way.
Fantastic.
It's okay. So as you approach, these massive gates slowly groan open as if the metal themselves is being yanked open strenuously against their will.
So the gates are opening up
Mm-hmm.
by themselves.
Yes.
Is there
That's
anyone
not
there?
Except they're massive iron gates.
How high did you? How tall did you say these gates were?
25 feet or so.
God, 25 feet.
And is there anyone we can see opening them?
No.
I
Me,
lean down
not
to Watt
creepy at all.
and I say, I don't know if this is exactly normal.
DJ, that's the most accurate thing you've said ever since I met you.
Thank you,
All right,
Mel, right? It's Mel?
DJ, we're hired swords. Nothing we do is normal, and I just keep on walking forward.
I mean, I guess he's got a point. Haven't seen something like this before, so might as well keep going, right?
Yeah,
First time for everything.
I mean, it looks pretty intriguing. So, yeah, let's keep going.
As you guys are walking along, you pass through these gates and they slowly swing closed behind you, making similar sounds of eerie, almost uncomfortable movement. Towering trees whose tops are lost in the heavy gray mist once again encompass you and block out all but a death gray light. The tree trunks are now unnaturally close to one another again, and the woods have silence of a forgotten grave, yet to exude the feeling of an unvoiced scream. As you walk along, you suddenly feel as if something is off. Make perception checks.
I rolled a 0.
I got a 13.
I got a nat 1, and I have a -1 to perception, so.
So should we go with our passive if our roll was low?
Yes.
I got a 15.
In that case,
My-
13.
15.
Yeah, my passive's 90, and
Did anybody roll higher than a
Higher than a what?
15?
I rolled a 15.
All right. So to
Same.
those of you that rolled a 15, you catch the scent of death in the air.
You said death?
Death.
no, deaf. It's Watt.
Yeah, it's me. Sorry, guys. I didn't shower last night.
Do you search for the
Do I search for it? Yeah, I kind of want to try to at least discern what direction this is coming from.
it's coming from the north of the road to your right, since you're walking west, and it's about 15 or so feet away from you. It's pretty close. You can smell. It's pretty pungent. Those of you that didn't roll 15 would continue to walk along the path as these guys stop to investigate.
Who else rolled a 15?
Davros.
I think Watt has a passive 15.
I had a passive 13.
Oh,
Davros had the passive
so
15.
so Davros and Mel, you behind at the stench.
So I kind of look at Davros. I'm like, you get a whiff of that? You get a whiff of that?
A whiff
too?
is an understatement.
Do you both go to investigate?
Yeah, I shout up to the
Yes.
rest of the party as they keep walking. I'm just like, hey, hold on a bit, just stay here. I'm sure it's nothing, but just hold on a second.
So do you approach?
I'm just going to
the
keep
scent-
walking because I didn't hear it.
Yeah, and
I pat on Watt's head. I'm like, hey.
Why'd we
So-
stop?
The foul scent leads you to a human corpse, half buried in the underbrush about 15 feet from the road. This young man appears to be a commoner of some sort. His muddy clothes are torn and raked with claw marks. His wounds do not seem fresh, even to the casual glance. You see crows have been at his body, and it's surrounded in paw prints. The man has obviously been dead for several days. You see that he holds a crumpled envelope in one hand.
okay. Well, Mel's not a huge stranger to death, so he's gonna actually bend down, kind of examine the body, he gets all of that information, he's going to take the envelope.
So you scoop up the envelope.
Yeah. Is there any markings on the outside of it?
Yeah, the letter in the guy's hand has a B set into its wax seal. The parchment is worn and flimsy.
It's a wax seal.
Yes.
Is
there
that
any
wax
symbol in
seal
the wax?
at all similar to the one we saw last night?
Is it all similar?
Is that wax seal at all similar to the one we saw last night?
It is relatively similar, yes.
Okay. I'm gonna open up the envelope.
You open up the envelope, and inside of that same envelope, you see the exact same letter that was penned and that you read for the evening, but something seems off about it. You have the other letter, correct?
Yeah, I do. Oh shit! I take that out.
You glance at it, and you see that this lettering is different, as if penned by a different hand, and it's dated a week older than the one you have originally.
Okay.
I'm going to go on record as saying that's not good.
So me and Davros are the only ones over here, right?
Mm-hmm. Show the letter to Davros.
Yeah. I show him the letter that the dead guy had first. And I'm like, that look familiar?
Familiar is a little. It's basically deja vu.
And then I hand you the letter that we got from that guy.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I don't think we were the first
So
ones. I don't think we were the first ones to be summoned for this.
How long has this been going on?
At least a week. That's what we know.
Keeping in mind that I did tell you that this man looked like a commoner.
Why does he have the letter? That's the other question.
Roll an insight check.
$22.
Oh, yeah. So you kind of put some thought into it, and you think that
7.
perhaps the druid rolled a 7. So it strikes you as very apparent all of a sudden, Mel, that perhaps it is possible that maybe you were not the first group to receive this message, but perhaps this message was actually found and repenned with the intent of a malicious design. Perhaps that this original letter that you found, that is now old, was more of a warning than an invitation.
This is something's wrong here. Something's really fucking wrong here.
You hear the sounds of a single wolf howl. It does not go away. The whole party hears this wolf howling now.
How long have Davros and Mel been over there?
About 20 seconds. About 24 seconds or so.
Do we see them?
Yeah, it's been a while. They did pause you. They did have you stop.
Hey guys, what's going on over there? Can we get going? We're wasting daylight.
Like, okay, now at this point, Mel's fucking heart is racing because he knows something's up, and he's gonna just run back to the party.
Yeah,
so you guys see
behind him.
You see Mel and Davros both bolt out of this underbrush underneath the trees, and they run at you. Mel, I assume you're like waving the letter or something.
Yeah, well, I'm just holding the letter, and I just run up, and I'm just like, I think this whole thing is a fucking trap, guys.
A trap? What do you mean it's a trap?
I've got my hand firmly on my scimitar.
I'm just like, all right, I heard that wolf. It's got to be close.
A second howl now joins the chorus.
I am going to hold Eldritch Blast for the first sign of something that might attack us.
I hop off of what?
I'm going to summon my
I'm
sword.
pulling my hammer out.
I ask Mel, what do you mean it's a trap? What's going on?
Did we keep hearing the howling?
Yeah, third howl now joins.
I'm like, I might have to explain later.
What direction is it coming from?
The north in the woods.
The direction that we're going?
No, you are heading west.
Gotcha.
Idea. How about the hell out of
It's
here?
to the right of us.
So wait,
That's boring.
Is it coming from the way that we came from?
No, it's coming from the north. You came from the east. You're
Okay,
traveling west
east.
along the road.
Traveling west. Okay. It's coming from the north.
It's coming from the middle of the woods.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what, should we head back or keep
How
going or
about we-
what?
I honestly don't know.
Think we
At this
keep moving. And
at
We
this
should
point-
just keep moving
point,
down
a
the path,
fourth-
but be fucking ready.
At this point, a fourth howl joins in the pack.
All right.
A
Let's
dissonant
keep,
echo shakes the trees and your limbs.
I say we keep moving. Let's go. There's no point in just standing here. We
Yeah.
can finish our mission.
Let's make haste. And
Should we start running?
Yeah, you guys start chugging it down the road
yeah.
normally.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just start running.
So as you start running down the road, you hear in the back of your minds, almost as if somebody has whispered it in your ear, a faint chuckle, and somebody say, almost as if they're touching your shoulder now, "Welcome to Barovia, my friends."
I already got one voice inside my head. I don't need another one.
And that's what we're going to end
I'm like,
today.
wow, that is the most clear thing I've ever heard.
So, unfortunately, we're going to have to end it here. That is episode 1, Into the Mists. Welcome to Barovia, my friends.
I guess
Neat.
so.
All right, well, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and find out what happens next week on Curse of Strahd to our adventures as they approach the old village of Barovia. Wonder what Strahd has in store for you and why the howling is yet to cease behind you.